Well, that sucked. That was not fun at all. It was a very unmerry Christmas, a lump of coal in my stocking, if you will, a wet urine-soaked bed. Nothing good, nothing positive to say. Celtics get trounced by a team that I really can't remember disliking a team as much as I disliked the Nets in terms of Kyrie and Durant being on it. Even the ever disappointing Jeff Green, not a bad guy, good guy, but was disappointing on the Celtics. So just throw him into the mix. I really don't like the Nets. And the fact of the matter is, and I said this on Twitter, just the simple fact is the Nets are not just a better team than the Celtics. They're a much better team than the Celtics. They have two better stars right now. I argue that Tatum has a chance by the end of the year to maybe be as a better player than Kyrie, but he's not right now. You saw that tonight. Brown's been outplaying Tatum for these first two games anyways. Brown's been tremendous. That's one of the lone bright spots you could say about tonight was he competed really hard. And you know what? The team actually competed. I'm not frustrated with the effort. It's frustrating that for years as Celtics fans and people in the media talked about, oh my God, Danny Ainge just set this Nets franchise back so far and fleeced them for all they were worth and killed the franchise. And not that many years later, here we are, and the Nets have surpassed you. And what do you have to show for it? You have two really nice players in Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, two guys who are going to be the future and the present and future of your franchise. But you've been to the Eastern Conference Finals a couple of times. Like, big whoop. You see those banners that are hanging and that are behind the baselines. That's what you play for in Boston. You don't play to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. And this Nets team, I'm telling you right now, unless there's a major shakeup in the East, they're going to the finals, and they're going to have a damn good shot of winning it. They have everything that you would want in a championship team. Two star players, one guy who is wrecks any sort of game plan in Kevin Durant. You can't defend him. He's that good. You can't have a game plan for him. You got a deep bench. You got height and athleticism. Guys who can rebound. Guys who can shoot threes. Steve Nash looks like he's a pretty damn good coach. I mean, it's a very small sample size, but he's keeping the team playing smart. They're playing the right way. They're not playing selfishly. They're moving the ball well. It's a recipe for a team that's a championship team. And the fact is that the Celtics aren't there. And even when Kemba Walker comes back, I'm not sure they're going to be there. So the reaction is less about this game in particular, where, again, the Celtics, they got absolutely just roasted. They got the score doesn't even, it looks closer than it was, 123-95. And the whole second half was just an absolute, it was just a extended beatdown. And if you want a quick sort of recap of who I thought looked good tonight, I'd say Jaylen Brown looked pretty good. I liked what Pritchard gave them off the bench a little bit, but though, I mean, it made no difference. And here's a big issue, and this is being tweeted a lot about. Jason Tatum, 2 games. Yeah, he hit the game winner in the first game. 0 free throw attempts. 0. I'm not saying free throw makes. I'm saying free throw attempts. The guy has not been to the free throw line. And that's not an issue with the officiating, which was always poor. You can count on the officiating to be poor, but this is an issue with Jason Tatum not being an aggressive scorer, settling for jump shots. He's a terrific jump shooter. He's a terrific three-point shooter. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the good scorers and the great scorers, here's the difference. Good scorer hits his scoring average, hits his jump shots. It's tough to defend on the perimeter. Great scorer can do all that and get to the free throw line. And in nights where he's not hitting those jumpers, he's still hitting his average because he's going to the free throw line enough. He's still putting up 30 because he's going to the free throw line. Jason Tatum needs to be that aggressive type of scorer. He needs to put the game in the official's hands when he's driving to the basket and make the ref call foul and send Jason Tatum to the line. That's how you average 30 points a game in the league. That's how you go from averaging in the low to mid 20s to the low 30s. You got to get to the free throw line. And if he's not going to do it, the Celtics are going to have a rough time. you already you have two scorers on this team, period. You have two guys who can score. When Kemba comes back, you get three. When one of them is out, you struggle to score. And if Tatum's not going to the free throw line, then you're really going to have an issue putting up points. And especially when you're playing a great team like the Nets, you got to put up points to win. And if you don't break 100, it's not going to be nearly good enough. So it's frustrating. Again, it's less of a reaction to this game because I do think the Celtics tried. I don't really have a big issue with the lack of effort, which is when I get the most mad after games. But it's frustrating that this Nets team has passed you by, even though Danny Ainge pulled off the heist of the century, and this is where you're at. Is the Nets are competing for a championship this year, and right now I don't see the Celtics competing for one, and that's really disappointing. A lot of season left to be played, obviously. We're 2 games into it. But I had a sneaky feeling this was what the case was going to be. They're going to have to figure out something to be able to compete with this Nets team because flat out they're better than the Celtics. They're just better. And I don't know how that's going to change. Kemba Walker certainly will be a welcome addition. Maybe they add some more veterans to the bench. Maybe that'll help. But right now, the gap between the Celtics, and the Nets is really big. And that's a problem. That's a big problem. So I hope everybody has a merry rest of their Christmas, or a merry Christmas before the Celtics game. If you're a Nets fan, then you had a merry Christmas. And a Heat fan too. They won. And now I'm going to watch the rest of the basketball games and not be nearly as invested, but decompress from the Celtics as more audio plays on my computer, which, wouldn't be a live stream without me fucking that up. So anyways, Merry Christmas, everybody. And I will talk to you after the next game. See ya.